Hello, I'm Madeleine Szymanski, and today I'm going to show you how I work with watercolour on Ivorine, which is a substitute for ivory. Okay. My inspiration for this miniature was Picnic at Hanging Rock, and initially I did some sketches and scribbles and a few drawings just to get a feeling for the girls' faces and the background. Then I did a tonal sketch which gave me an idea how I was going to do the finished painting. Okay. I did the drawing to size so that I could use it to copy, and then did a line drawing in ink so that I could transfer it through the Ivorine like this. This particular method just uses some areas at a time, but the way I usually work is to start with a wet and wet wash over the whole surface. I'm wetting the area with water first and then dropping in the colour. I've got ultramarine up the top here and some burnt sienna, which will give me more of a slightly greyish tone up here, maybe. And down the bottom I want the pinks. So got permanent rose here, blending in. Need a little bit more blue. There. And more pink over here. And a bit of greeny colour, which I'll make with raw sienna and the ultramarine to come up the edge and into this area here. Now these will be able to run around and run together, and then I'll put them onto a light box to dry. It's the perfect place, and cover with a plastic box so the dust doesn't get in. Once this wet and wet wash has dried, I can then, on the light box, see the lines from the drawing and trace through on the Ivorine. When the wet and wet wash has dried and the drawing is on the Ivorine, I can then start lifting off the lights and adding darker tones. It's useful to have an old handkerchief to pick up the paint, because tissues tend to leave little fibres. I can start adding some darker tones, like this girl's hair. I'm using a piece of paper under my painting hand so that I don't transfer any grease onto the paper. So I'm just putting a mixture of burnt sienna and ultramarine to get the dark girl's hair, and I can lift off the ribbon that's at the back of her hair. So you can see that it's really a process of subtraction and addition at this stage, where gradually the figures are emerging and the background will have more detail. Now I'm just adding the last few details to the background, having finished the girls' faces and figures, and I've kept the background fairly loose and soft, part of the original wash, just slightly enhanced. And here's the finished painting, Picnic at Hanging Rock. These are some of the watercolours I've done on Ivorine. Did you want? These are some of my these colograph miniatures. Colograph is a printmaking method which I also use quite a lot.